to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God,
indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
Guns, self-defense, conceal carry. This is the Patriot Defense Podcast. From the War Room in Idaho's high desert, here's your host, Todd Echols.
And we're back here in southern Idaho, the high desert of southern Idaho, in the War Room on episode We Don't Know and We Don't Really Care.
Right, Todd,
I've
right.
refused to keep track of them. I'm not even going to look it up on my computer because I can't even run this thing very well. So I'm going to shut it so it doesn't tempt me.
It's all good. True.
So
I like what you've done to the War Room here, Todd. It's looking good.
It's getting there. This is what I spent my vacation days over Christmas. Kind of slowly unloading boxes and tubs, and I got my book collection right here.
Nice.
You see my book collection?
I do, yeah.
I got some Glenn Beck stuff.
Yeah.
I don't have any reloading manuals in here, but you know I'm against reloading manuals.
Yeah, I know about you, yeah.
I'm probably lucky I have my fingers. But hey, do you like my bookends?
I love the bookends. That's awesome.
What are my bookends?
Your bookends are brass. Yeah,
brass.
Bottles of brass.
Bottles of brass.
Is that 38 special?
Yes.
That is
38 special,
yeah.
And they aren't deprimed, but they are polished and ready to go.
Oh, they're looking good, Todd.
It's good.
Yeah.
I've lived here a year. It's about time I get this place together.
Yeah, get it unpacked and
Hung some flags on the wall.
yeah, the flags are looking good.
I've tried to dress up my door a little bit.
Cover up those
Dragonflies.
the dragonflies and fairies and
I've got a map of the Magic Valley. Don't ask me where I got that. I've got more where those came from. Don't ask me where I got them though. I refuse to tell you.
that looks like a well-used map.
It is a very old map.
That's awesome.
And they somehow came into my possession. And I've got a lot more like that, and I'm not giving them up. I've got an ad up there for the Mantis X to remind me how cool that thing is.
Right? Have you been using it all over the last time?
I haven't.
No?
I need to, but
Yeah.
every time I think about it, I'm like, how cool. What cool. That's a really cool tool because it can help you draw. It can help you. I mean, I was even thinking point shooting.
Right.
I was even thinking when I out with my kids. And when you're trying to explain to someone who's new, especially a kid, how to use a firearm, how to line up the sights, you never know exactly how they're lining up their sights.
Yeah. Or if they're even closing the right eye.
Yeah, or what they're seeing. But with this, I'm going to be able to pull it up on my phone, and I'm going to be able to see where they start, where they end, where they move to. I think it'll be a pretty cool tool.
Yeah, I agree.
But what else we got on the wall there? You explain that next picture up there.
So the other picture is oh gosh, it just escapes me what this thing is. This is from an arteriogram from a heart, taken by one of the local cardiologists of a fellow that has some birdshot?
Birdshot in his
Stuck in his heart.
chest. Yeah.
So he has shrapnel in his chest, just like Iron Man, just like Tony Stark.
Yeah, and this gentleman actually took my class, and then he sent me this. He actually brought it to me. I've got more copies somewhere, and he wanted me to show people in my class or just to kind of demonstrate gun safety. I mean, this man I don't know exactly how old he is, but he's an older gentleman, and this happened years and years and years ago, and he's carrying this around inside of him, and every now and then he has to go and get checked to make sure those pellets haven't migrated, I guess.
Wow, that's just wild.
It is.
So that picture on the wall shows the right arteriogram, so you can see his right coronary artery. It's nice, wide open. He's got good blood flow through there. And
Good blood flow and a lot of pellets.
Dotted with pellets all the way around the
thing. If you look at it, there's probably 20 plus pellets in there.
Oh, yeah.
Easy.
That's just wild.
Anyhow, I kind of rousted that up out of my...
He's not a friend of Dick Cheney, is he?
No.
Okay.
No, not at all.
Not that we blame Dick Cheney. He's a good man. Never mind.
Maybe he's a friend of of Joe Biden's.
True.
So, well, big news on the home front. I was just speaking with Dean here, and Dean actually listened to our last show.
I did. You sent it to me. I downloaded. I listened to our show. I did.
That's good.
True.
And he doesn't know how to respond to text messages, but he can listen to podcasts off of iTunes.
Yeah.
He's on his way out here. I sent him a text message. Said, "Hey, I'm out in the war room. Just come on out." No, I watch him pull up in the driveway. I watch him walk up to the front door.
In my defense, I've been plastic dipping in an enclosed room huffing aerosol.
I don't want to
fumes
know
and,
what you do in enclosed rooms. Dean.
True. Sorry, Todd. Yeah.
This isn't the Dean Motorcycle Talk Show.
Right.
This is all things firearms, right?
Yeah. Well, as we're talking about coatings or anything, Plastidip is good, fun stuff.
Oh yeah.
And I've discovered it comes in other colors besides black. I did my last bike in all black. This bike I'm doing with some red.
Well, you powder coated too, didn't you?
I did, yeah. The problem is I'm trying to find some powder coat, some red that matches the red on my motorcycle. It's more subdued and not the hooker lipstick red that you
I think
get
you should
down
add
there.
a little white to it and make it pink.
My daughters would love that. Oh, you're killing me.
You'd have the sharpest freaking
Right.
bike in town. But
anyway.
well, remember the little bullets that I made with the red powder coat? Looked like
I did, yeah.
looked
They
like
look like
little
lipsticks. Yeah.
So that's for those of you who don't know, I'm sure people are wondering what we've gone to talking about motorcycles and pink powder coat and everything else today. But when I started reloading years ago, I got the reloading bug, and then I started to actually cast my own bullets.
Right.
And I'm lazy, and I hate to clean my guns. And I was getting a lot of lead in the barrels because I was probably doing something wrong. But
Well,
whatever.
Probably your mix of lead.
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah, you don't.
I melt it. I cast it into bullets, and I shoot it. And if it goes bang, I'm all happy.
Right? If it makes holes and stuff, it's good.
So, yeah. So I did some research, and I got online and figured out how to go down to Harbor Freight, buy a little powder coating setup, and actually powder coat my bullets. And I do it. It works out really, really well, and there's a lot easier ways to do it now that I've talked to people. But anyhow, I showed Dean, and next thing you know, he's got a little Harbor Freight powder coat kit. Is that where you got yours?
Yeah, I got it at Harbor Freight. Yeah.
And
yeah.
Next thing I know, he's like murdering out his motorcycle with it.
Right,
And stuff.
right. Because it's so easy to do to powder coat those bullets. But and then you don't have to use any weird lubes on your lead.
Weird A-locks.
Yeah,
Garbage.
yeah, and it works so much easier. You don't have to spend all that money on a press to put the grease in the grooves of your bullets or any of that.
That was required?
What?
Before?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't do that either.
True. So with this powder, you're just using the Alux stuff that comes with Lee,
If I made it that far.
right? And that's if you don't put any grease on your lead bullets that you cast, especially if they're soft.
In
they
one
just-
of these awesome drawers
Yeah?
here, I don't know, probably the one behind you, I got a big old nasty tube of A-locks in there.
There it is.
There's my size.
there it is, right there.
Yeah.
Liquid Alux, bullet lubricant.
It's been frozen more than once, I'm sure.
Right. But yeah, that stuff it's terrible. It's greasy. It's
sticky. It's
sticky, gross,
freaking
and you just-
disgusting.
yeah, it just makes the process of reloading lead bullets just a mess. But
I haven't reloaded in a couple of years. I need to do that.
I need to get back to it too. I've still got. I'm still in the middle of a run of 357. With some bullets that
That
you showed me how to cast. So
Oh,
I
yeah,
cast some
it's
357. Yeah, you
You
showed
came
me
over
all
to my
that.
garage and we got cancer together.
Right. Yeah.
That was
And
nasty.
it was something else. That's for sure.
So Dean's right. Dean casts his lead bullets outside.
Yeah.
Not me. I do mine in my garage with the doors and the windows shut. 'Cause
Right.
I don't like to be cold.
Shoot.
And obviously, I will give up a little of my health so I
Oh,
can stay
gosh.
warm.
Well, it's just like being in the indoor shooting range when you're running a class that has just terrible
that's-
ventilation.
Yeah, that's bad for business, dude. Don't talk about that.
No, it's a fantastic. You learn a lot, but you come out there high and with a smoker's cough.
Black lung.
Yeah,
We
that's
call
right.
It black lung.
Yeah, you come out of there sounding like Doc Holliday. Yeah.
So that's going to be it for the Todd and Dean Reloading podcast. No, just kidding. Yeah, we talk about a little bit about everything. So hey, I pulled out my revolver the other day.
You did.
It's still broken,
Oh,
and I need you to help me find the little screw that I need.
you bet. We'll do it. I'll help you find
dig
it.
it out of the safe before you
Right.
leave.
It's
And-
the Taurus.
yeah, it's the only one I have. Well, I have two, but yeah. That's the one. I do want to shoot it. Remember when we used to go out to the? I used to shoot that sucker at like 100 yards. Do you remember that? Do you remember when you and me went out there?
Yeah.
We were popping that
trying to
rock?
fire off at the big rock down there at
I
100
hit
yards.
it.
Yeah.
Numerous times.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Oh yeah.
Did you buy any new guns this last week?
No.
Did you get anything gun related for Christmas?
No, I
What?
No, I got motorcycle stuff. My wife bought me a new leather jacket. It's brown, so it's a little easier to see than black.
Fucking Sons of Anarchy going on.
Yeah, it's the old classic type that kind of. Anyway,
He didn't get a leather jacket. His wife bought him a gang cut. He's wearing his cut. He's gonna be in trouble now. Did you rip the sleeves off of it?
Yeah. Well, oh no.
Sew some patches onto it.
That's right. I'm a 1%er. That's right. Watch out for me.
We're gonna get great. We're gonna get that's gonna be great for the ratings. I can irritate people enough as it is. I do not have to make fun of the 1%ers.
No. Yeah, I don't want to talk, or else we'll get the biker gang
Blackballed.
show up and
Yeah,
raid the house.
but then we'll get to defend the 2 acres, and that'll be fun.
Darn right. Yeah.
That'll be a lot of fun. So,
True.
well, what should we talk about today, Dean?
I don't know. I think you're on a roll with this, with the lead and the powder coating. I mean, I just can't get over how cool that is. You know?
Though some people actually will tumble it. They'll tumble their
The powder coat.
yeah, not in a tumbler, but they'll put it like they'll put a little bit of powder coat in something else in a like a Tupperware container with the bullets, and they'll shake it up.
Yeah.
And it'll stick to them, and
So how does
then
it
they'll cook it.
how does it stick?
I don't know. It's some kind of weird black magic.
Huh.
But they tell me it's a lot easier. I kind of like this. I like to hose mine down.
Yeah, I like to hose
mine
it too.
I like mine to.
What?
You like that? Okay, that just. We went from.
So
yeah.
Anyway,
Dean likes to. Yeah, no.
there it is.
We're done.
True.
We're done. So
But that's slick how it really does prevent leading in your barrel using the powder coat.
it does, and
You
the stuff's
bake it really good. That stuff's hard.
You'll actually do you used to do like a hammer smash test to it, and I'd take one and I'd powder coat it. I did it with a lot of different coatings because I was trying to find one that would work, and a lot of people were taking some kind of weird spray can enamel. And you can do that actually. Some people still do it, and they let it dry and smash it with a hammer, and you see what falls off.
Right.
But you do that with powder coating, and it all stays on.
Yeah, it sticks.
It's tough stuff.
Yeah, when we've dug our bullets out of the berm after we've been shooting, the powder coat is still on there. It's stuck to it, even though it's completely the bullet's completely deformed, smashed up, squished.
Yeah,
It's molecularly adhered to the lead.
I'm
It's
glad
good
we
stuff.
got you here for the big words. The big words are good. So.
True.
Okay, well, first of all, I got to say I'm sorry. We talked about a gal that is running for a state representative last week, and I mispronounced her name.
Todd.
She texted me. I called. I addressed her as Glenetta Zeiderveld, and it's actually Glenita Zeiderveld.
So it was her first name you mispronounced.
Yeah,
not
I
even
would
her
have
last
thought
name.
it would have been the
Whatever.
last name, but
True.
whatever.
She sounds like a really nice lady.
Glenita is going to
Truly.
listen to this because I'm pretty much required to send her every episode that we.
She's,
She's one of our 2 listeners.
Really? Wow.
She's one of our 2 listeners. I think we slowed down for a while. I think we lost all the other listeners, but we got
Right.
me and her. We listen.
the cool.
I can't even get my wife to listen to this.
Not even when you're driving in the car with her?
No, she has no idea. I don't ever go anywhere with her.
Yeah?
She doesn't have any idea what we even do out here, Dean.
No idea. Not even your other podcast.
She knows I do one. She doesn't listen to crap. She
has
didn't
no
even listen
idea.
to my radio show.
Oh gosh.
So, anyhow, let me pull this up here so I can take a look at it. I'm trying to multitask. Glenita, after the radio show actually on Friday, she sent me a text message, and I am going to read this, and then we are going to talk about it. It says, I'm going to read this per verbatim here. It says, as I am cleaning toilets for my party. She's going to love this. I was thinking about the topic of soft targets. I think gun owners for home and church need to sit the whole family down and make a plan that if this happens, this is what we do. Everything from having siblings that know what to do with infant siblings, and churches, as there's soft targets as well, and churches explain the plan so all is on the same page and have their duty to take care of, and everyone knows their job and will do it without pause. Have it in muscle memory. You know, she asked me if we'd ever talked about something like that on the show, and we may have touched on it back when I was doing this by myself, and that's back when they sucked. So, if you are a new listener and you want to listen to the first shows, maybe listen to like the very first one. You'll hear about where I've come from, what I'm all about, and then skip ahead till I start doing them with Dean as my co-host, and they're a heck of a lot better.
Well, more banter.
More banter. It's right. I'm not staring at a wall talking to myself. Someone told me that was talking to yourself is a sign of getting old. Where I can't do it and sound good, so I'm not getting old, Dean.
Well, maybe you're just lonely.
I'm lonely.
Out here in the war room.
I like the war room. I spent 4 days out here. I went in to eat and pee, and that was it.
You go all the way into the house?
Well,
You just used the bush out. No, never mind.
I am civil.
Sorry. Yeah.
Let's keep it civil.
True.
So anyhow,
Well, she makes an excellent point about getting your family prepared and having a plan, because that's not unlike preparing for a fire in your house, teaching your kids how to get out of a house if there's a fire, or teaching them to be well prepared. And can't just be one person that knows what's going on. Otherwise, everyone's going to run around like a chicken with their head cut off. Everyone's got to know what's going on.
Exactly, and I've likened it to it's kind of what I talk about when I do my permit classes. We talk about how everyone's got a fire plan for their house. Okay, little kids come home from school. The fire department has visited that day, and they got to make this fire plan. Whose window do we go out? What tree do we meet under? All that stuff. When I lived in Kansas, I had like the perfect house, the most defensible house. We had a basement, we had a main level, we had an upstairs. Upstairs, you went up the stairs. It came in from the front door, and all the bedrooms were on the top level and on that floor. And our bedroom was at the very end of the hallway. So if I heard someone break into the house, our plan that we had discussed with the kids and my wife and stuff was my wife she was going to be armed. I was going to be armed. She was going to get on the phone to 911, call the police. Mm-hmm. I was going to walk down the hallway. I was going to grab the kids and usher them all back down to our bedroom. And I wasn't going to go downstairs and try to clear the house because everyone was up on the top floor anyway.
Right.
I don't care if they take my TV. I don't care if they steal my stuff. I'm not going to go clear my house because, frankly, to be honest with you, I do, teach handgun instruction, but I've never been taught how to clear a house.
Yeah.
That's not my job. I'll let law enforcement do that. My line in the sand was the top of those stairs because I could be at the end of the hallway with my bedroom door open, and if I saw someone, I'd yell down there, "Get out, police are coming, I've got a gun," whatever I decided to yell. Mm-hmm. And if I saw their head come above the stairs, I would shoot. And I was going to have my wife instruct law enforcement, you better identify yourself if you're coming up those stairs. Because that was my line in the sand. They weren't coming down that hallway. Yeah. It was kind of how it would be almost like a fatal funnel type situation.
Right, the hot gates.
The hot
Todd's.
Gates. Yeah, Todd's. And so that's what I was going to do. That was my plan.
Right.
So it's important to discuss that plan. I had to discuss it with my kids. So fortunately, I never had to see if I did all the right things, and to see if that plan would work out. Fortunately, you never want that to happen.
Exactly.
But I had to go and make sure. I have 5 kids, and I had at the time I had 4, but I got some older daughters that you go to wake them up at 2:00 in the morning. I could barely get them out of bed at 8 o'clock in the morning, let alone 2 o'clock in the morning. And they needed to know that if mom or dad was in there waking them up at 2 o'clock in the morning, they needed to get up and listen and come down, to our bedroom. There's other plans that you have to have too. I'm a right-handed shooter. Okay, I carry on my hip on the right side. So when I'm out in public with my family or with my wife, I go to Walmart, Winco, the movies, whatever. If my wife wants to hold my hand, she wants to hold my arm, it gets done on my left side. And that's because I keep my right hand free and open to be able to grab my handgun and fire it one-handed if I need to. Again, like I'll carry, when my kids were younger, I'd carry the baby carrier in my left hand. I didn't want to take the time to switch hands with the baby carrier or let go of my 3-year-old son's hand just because I needed to draw my weapon and defend myself. That's time I don't have, and I don't want to let his hand go for free. He's a freaking 3-year-old. He'll run away.
Right. Well, it all gets back to mindset. You got to plan on what you're going to do as you head out. If you're going to carry, you need to be responsible, and that means having a plan.
Yeah, and that's why it's really important to discuss these things and to think about different situations where you might have to use your firearm because it's all about pre-thinking. You can't just take your gun, one day, decide that you've never concealed carried before in your life, decide that day that you're going to do it, and you're going to holster it up and walk out of the house. Research it, think about it, discuss things, ask questions, have a plan. That's
Right.
And this is a kind of a pet peeve of mine too, but there's a lot of people I know that don't carry with a round chambered.
Right.
And I'm under the assumption that you need to carry with a round chamber because that saves you time. And that's part of my plan. I plan that, okay, if this happens while I'm in town, I want to minimize the time that it's going to take for me to get my firearm. I want to make stuff more efficient. I want to be practiced and be trained. That's why I practice drawing. That's
Right.
why I carry with a round chamber. Just one less thing I have to worry about it. It's draw and go. That's why I hold my son's hand in my left hand. That's why I carry things in my left hand. Keep my right hand free because it gets me in the game quicker if I have to be.
Right. And it's not scary to carry a round chambered.
Nope, it's not. If you have a gun that you are uncomfortable, let's back this up. As little kids, you start shooting in Cub Scouts or wherever it is you learn to shoot. You're always taught. What are you always taught, Dean?
Keep the muzzle downrange. Don't keep your finger off the trigger.
Yeah, and don't keep the gun unloaded until you're ready to.
Until you're ready to, yeah, right.
Yeah, until you're ready to fire. And so I understand the mindset of people that say I'm not going to chamber around. I'm not going to carry the round chambered. What if the gun goes off? What if the gun goes off? That's a training issue,
Right.
Because you need to have confidence in the gun that you carry, in the weapon that you're going to carry, the brand, the type, everything. You need to know that gun inside and out, and be certain that be settled in your mind that gun's not going to fire,
Right.
unless you pull the trigger. You know more about the insides of guns than I do, Dean,
Mm-hmm.
and I would imagine you're going to be able to tell me that even back in the day, there may have been problems, but nowadays guns are so well manufactured. 99.9% of them are so well manufactured. There's different internal safeties like trigger blocks and all kinds of stuff that don't get moved until you pull the trigger. Am I right?
The guts of the guns are so complex. Oh, well, not really complex, but there are safeties upon safeties that will prevent it from going off unless you are actively pulling the trigger.
Right.
Absolutely.
And I mean, that's why all my handguns, and if you like an external safety, that's fine. You can have an external safety.
Right.
I choose not to because I know that there's a lot of safeties in those inside, I have internal type safety, not external safeties. Grip safeties, trigger safeties.
Right.
If you want to go back to the old movie, my finger is the safety.
Right.
Okay. Another thing, too, if we're going to discuss this and carrying with a round chambered, have complete confidence in your holster.
Right.
Get a proper holster.
Right.
One that is a Kydex holster or really thick, durable, stiff leather. Okay. Something that's going to protect that trigger and keep anything from getting in there and causing that trigger to get depressed and go off. If you are not confident in all those things, you need to buy a different rig, a different holster, a different firearm. You need to do something. I tell people, carry your firearm around your house. Unload the thing.
Yeah.
Unload that gun.
Yeah.
Carry it holstered around your house, and that gun's not going to go off unless you pull the trigger.
Yeah.
And when you're comfortable with it, then you can load that firearm up like you should, chamber around, and carry it.
Right. So I have full confidence in my revolvers, Todd.
Yes.
Right. Because I know that with the transfer bar system that almost all revolvers use now.
Yes.
So I have full confidence in carrying a revolver. When I started carrying a pistol, it scared the crap out of me to keep one chambered. But and full disclosure, I when I first started carrying, I would not have a round in the chamber, and eventually I got used to the idea of having it on my hip. I got more trust in my rig, more trust in the firearm itself, because I never once did I pull it out and see that this striker fired firearm the trigger had been pulled.
Right.
So now, always keep a round in the chamber.
And that's just the way to do it. You save so much time, and frankly, if you're really afraid that your gun is going to go off, maybe you shouldn't be carrying a firearm.
Right.
Okay. Or
if you don't trust it, get a different one.
Or maybe you need a firearm that you can trust.
Right.
Maybe you need one with an external safety on it.
Yeah.
Carry with a round chambered. Keep the external safety on, engaged, and then just practice drawing it and taking in the same It's hard to show you here because it's a radio show.
Right.
But you can practice drawing the firearm and sweeping the safety off
Yeah.
at the same time. Just train how you're going to carry. If that's how you're going to carry, train for it.
Right. The whole thing gets back to training.
Yep.
At this point, I haven't trained with anything with an external safety because I'm used to revolvers. So the pistol that I carry doesn't have an external safety.
I won't even. Well, the only gun I have with a handgun that I have with an external safety is my PMR 30, and it's a 22 mag. It's Keltec PMR 30, and I'm not going to carry that for self. I mean, I have no
22
problem
mag,
carrying a 20,
right, yeah.
22 mag, but the gun itself is larger and bulky. I don't even have a holster for it. I just bought it to shoot varmints and cats and stuff like that. So magpies. I shouldn't say that. You're not supposed to
that's
shoot-
illegal.
You're
Yeah,
not supposed to shoot magpies.
National bird of Mexico.
That's
yeah.
right. You're not supposed to shoot magpies unless they're a nuisance. Which, if they're
Right,
flying
unless they're
over
carrying
my
off
2
your children or
acres,
anything.
they're in my airspace. They're a nuisance
Well,
because they unless they're going to haul off a cat. If they haul off my cat, well, anyhow,
yeah, they can have it.
we'll get back on the
True.
topic. But
Topic here.
I don't carry any firearms that don't or that have an actual external safety. I don't
Right.
like them. I feel it slows me down.
Yeah.
If I needed to, in fact, I got away from carrying, and I think I explained this to you. This is a few years back. This is a while back, I think. Remember when I had my XDM? It's got a grip safety on it.
Yeah.
And remember I got that Glock. Remember when I got
Yeah,
that Glock?
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I got.
I was so proud of you for getting a Glock.
Yeah, I got my G19, and one of the, and this is delving, I won't say off topic, but a little deeper. The reason why I got the G19 is because it didn't have a grip safety. It's got a trigger safety.
Right.
And I felt that if I was, violent encounters, attacks, whatnot, they usually happen within 5 to 7 feet. Very, very, very violent. They'll be over really, really quickly. They can be very, very messy if knives and guns are involved, obviously.
Yeah.
And they can happen. You won't see them coming. Typically, you can if you pay attention sometimes, but most of the time they're going to surprise you.
Yeah.
And if I am tussling with someone, okay, I'm not a fighter, let's say, but if I'm tussling with someone and I got my firearm out, and let's say I have that XDM and it's got a grip safety, and I've got it close to me, and I can make the gun go off by pulling the trigger, but I don't have that grip safety depressed, the gun's not going to go bang.
Right. I think we fiddled around with it once too,
Yeah.
just trying to see if we could get it to go off. Of course, it was unloaded.
Yeah, we did.
We
You're
just
right.
wanted to see if it would. If
It wouldn't.
yeah, it wouldn't go off.
And that's
because that's a
fine.
good safety.
It's a good safety.
Yeah.
But I went with the G19 because if I come stumbling out of my room one night and there's a guy, I encounter someone in my house, in my hallway, let's say, and they grab me and it becomes a physical altercation.
Yeah.
And I draw my G19. I want to be able to get it up really close to the guy, and I may have to pull the trigger. I may be contorted into some weird deal wrestling with this guy.
Right.
I want to be able to pull that trigger and have it go bang. And I may not have a good 100% full firing grip on that firearm because we may be close enough that I'm not able to get that. I mean, does
Right.
that make sense?
That makes perfect sense. Yeah. I think they could make that grip a little better. Not to knock on Springfield because
Right.
that's a fabulous firearm.
Oh,
it's great.
One of my best shooting guns.
You know, I remember seeing you knock quarter size holes out of targets with about 10 shots.
Yeah.
You know, that's a fantastic shooting weapon, but at the same time, just carry what you're comfortable with. If you want that extra layer of safety that a grip safety holds, go ahead, by all means, make it so.
Yeah.
But the difference is like let's say a 1911, the grip safety on a 1911 is much fatter, it's much wider.
Sure.
It's easier to disengage. With my 1911, I don't carry my 1911 because it's a safe queen. It's got such a pretty finish. I can't imagine putting it in a holster. Anyway, it's the grip safety is much easier to disengage than on other types of grip safeties I've fiddled with.
And if you carry a firearm, you make a lifestyle of it, and you're truly going to carry this firearm wherever you legally can, and you're going to do it every day. I guarantee you, after maybe 6 months, maybe 3 months, maybe a year, 2 years, your tastes in firearms will evolve over time. They will change.
True.
How you dress, how you act, the holsters that you choose.
Yeah.
Stuff will change. I mean, you've probably seen me change over time a little bit, evolve as far as the guns and the holsters, and I mean, heck, now I appendix carry.
Right.
I mean, and there's just different things that I do now that I wouldn't even have thought about doing back then.
Yeah.
So it's all about on what fits you and what fits your lifestyle.
Right. And what you're trained
And
for.
what- and
you're most
trained.
comfortable with.
And you need to get training. Pick up a gun. I could pick up a gun. Anyone can pick up a firearm and carry it with them. Yeah, and it's there if they need it. And could they possibly defend their lives with it? Yeah, well, heck yeah, they could. But you need to know. You need to know the laws. You need to know what you can and can't do. And I know we discuss this on the radio show that I do, like every show, for a couple minutes. It's all about training. You can't just pick it up and run with it.
Yeah.
You need to know the laws. You need to you're going to use it, and you need to know if I pull this trigger, I'm going to have to go to court. I'm going to have to do this. I'm going to have to do that. Or I woke up, I walked out in my living room. There's a guy in my living room. All of a sudden now he jets out the door. I'm going to put one in his back and put him down before he harasses the neighbors. You can't do that.
No, you can't. Yeah.
You can't do that. If the threat has diminished and if he turns and he's running out of your house, the threat is over, you cannot shoot.
Right.
And when you do shoot, you have to shoot to stop the threat. You
Right.
can't bang, bang, 2 shots, he falls on the floor and go, well, crap, I got another 8 rounds in my gun. Bang, 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 bang. You can't do that.
Right.
The threat, if he's on the floor and he's not moving, the threat is over. Now, if he's on the floor and he's, you can still fight from the floor and he's got a firearm, obviously keep shooting because the threat's not over. But
Right.
you need to shoot to stop the threat. You never shoot to kill. We hear that. I hear that all the time. Well, I'm
Right.
going to shoot to kill. No, you're not.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you've heard that same thing, right?
Right. I mean, the whole purpose of defending yourself with a firearm is to stop them from hurting you, from taking your life.
Right.
And the quickest way to do that whenever you use a firearm is of course, center of mass.
Yeah.
And the whole purpose is to decrease their blood pressure, get them to bleed out to the point where they pass out and they're on the floor.
Ventilate them puppies.
That's right. Well, ventilate or take out the CNS, which is a little bit harder, but the most that's why I'm an advocate for the 45.
What
there,
the
Todd,
crap
right?
is the CN? Oh, central
nervous system. Right.
There
Yeah,
you go.
yeah.
Gotcha.
I was just listening to a show just now where they were on my way over here, where they were talking about the importance of 2 in the body, 1 in the head.
So he'll listen to other people's podcasts. Did you
Right.
guys pick up on that? He won't
It was-
listen to
it
his
was-
own.
No, it was a national radio show. Oh, never mind. I got that.
They do podcasts too because I download the same one on my phone.
Right.
Dean.
But I don't know if I quite agree so much with them. 2 in the body, 1 in the head. Making it sound like you're trying to be as lethal as possible. But yeah, you need to stop the threat.
Here's the thing with center mass. Center mass is, and my voice is gonna fade just a little bit. This is center mass. I'm explaining to Dean what center mass is, like he knows, but this is center mass.
Picture this: Todd picking up a large priority mail envelope the size of 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper.
It's official. It's
And
United
it's United States
Postal.
Postal Service flat rate mailing envelope, and holding it over his chest.
It's got flags in it.
Right.
But yeah, I'm a flag guy. But anyhow, this is center mass. This is
Right.
where center mass is. You have a lot of people that say, I'm going to shoot them in the head. Okay? Well, the head is a target that moves around a lot. It bounces back and forth. It's always moving. It's hard to hit.
And there's some thick bone in there.
Yes, there is. So you shoot them center mass. And when you're shooting defensively, you're not going to have nice little tight groups of rounds.
No.
You shoot center mass because it's a big area. It's the most stable on the body.
Right. And there's a lot of vasculature in there.
There's a lot of shut down organs in there.
Yes.
That's what you want to get. And so if you are shooting, let's say you're taking a headshot, which you shouldn't do, and you shoot high, where are you going to hit? Probably nothing.
Nothing.
If you shoot left or shoot right, they may lose an ear. Okay? But if you are shooting center of mass and you shoot high, where are you going to hit?
More vasculature.
Neck, face, head.
Yeah.
If you're right or left, what are you going to do?
Arms.
Shoulder, arm, clip a lung. I don't
Right.
know where
There's
I
a
don't know
lot.
where the freaking body
Right.
parts are in there. Just
Gotcha,
something
yeah.
in there.
Yeah.
If you shoot low, where are you going to hit?
Guts.
Abdomen, yeah. Do the zipper, bang, bang, bang.
Right. A lot of blood in their spleen and the liver. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why we shoot center mass.
true.
Exactly why we shoot center mass. If it's good enough for law enforcement, it's good enough for us.
Right. And you hear the argument too. Some people say, "Oh, I'm just going to shoot him in the leg and scare him."
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Don't shoot him in the.
Don't be doing that because what's going to happen if you pop someone in the leg who's in your house? It's not 100% surety that this is going to happen. But you go to court and they say, well, why did you shoot this person? Well, I was scared for my life.
So you shot him in the leg.
How scared for your life were you that you actually only shot him in the leg? If you're scared for your life, you're going to shoot him just to stop the threat.
True.
And
And you're going to be so full of adrenaline.
You're
You're
not
not going to be
think
aiming.
about shooting them in
Right.
the leg.
Yeah.
That's absolutely ridiculous.
A farce.
So, other than that, churches.
True.
We didn't touch on churches. We got talking about guts and shooting people in the center mass and your fancy medical terms. But churches, we want to touch on church. Me and Dean go to the same church, but there's a lot of different churches out there. And, it's kind of getting back to the topic that you hear everyone talk about is soft targets. Churches are really soft targets. They really are. And I know some churches have actually put together security teams. In fact, a buddy of mine, him and his dad head up the security team where they go to church at.
Oh, wow.
And I had a gentleman, my pastor, come in to my last class. I think he brought like 6 or 7 of his parishioners with him. And the thing I want to offer to churches is, if you're going to put something together, that's fine. If someone in, a group of people that there's 3 or 4 guys in your congregation that carry firearms, that's not enough. That'll help. That's a start. That's not enough. You need to maybe get some training of some kind. See where everyone is. See if this guy over here, he shoots well. This guy over here, he shoots well. This guy over here, he carries a gun, but he can't hit the broadside of a barn, and he's scary with it. You need to know that.
Right.
Because you got people in there that, other churchgoers. You don't want friendly fire, I guess.
True. You want this guy to be trained enough that he knows good target versus bad target.
Exactly.
And he's not going to overshoot and just start spraying the people behind the target.
Yeah, you'd be surprised at what you see people do. I see it in my class all the time.
True.
But you at least need to be on the same page. Talk to him. Say, hey, look, would you be willing, since you carry a firearm already, would you be willing to be on some kind of our church security team or whatever it is you want to call it?
Hey.
And you need to come up with a game plan. And I've never done this. I've never been a part of any of these. But just from the outside looking in and from people I've talked to, you need to be on the same page. You need to maybe have some people that are kind of, go up and greet the new people.
Right.
There's a new guy shows up. You don't know who he is, but new people show up to church all the time. Whether they're there to find God, whether they're there for a handout, or maybe they're just there for directions. Who knows? But they show up. You don't know who they are. Make contact with them.
Right.
Say, hi, welcome to our congregation. This is where our church services are beginning,
Yeah.
Let other people who are part of your security team know that person's there. Keep an eye on him. Maybe sit by him. Maybe one person can sit close to him. You don't know what these people are going to do. They may just stand up and start shooting. They may actually be there for a legitimate reason. But you need to be proactive, be prepared. You've got women, children, elderly people at church. I mean, you kind of need to protect them, I think.
Right. I think it all comes down to situational awareness. And when you have a team, make sure that everyone's on the same page with your situational awareness. Just be aware of who's there. Have someone on the doors. Watch the parking lot. Just see what's going on.
Yeah. Situational awareness is just a big thing. Yeah. Know exactly what's going on. I'm going to break away from the church thing. Situational awareness. I hate to travel, Dean.
Yeah.
One of my favorite places to hang out is the freaking airport.
What?
You can watch the craziest people in the airports. Have you ever just take a time and sit down and watch people at the airport?
I hate to fly because I hate being treated like a piece of livestock.
Yeah.
So it drives me nuts to go to the airport, Todd.
Me too. It's kind of a fun game though. You can actually play with your kids at the airport, at the Walmart, at wherever you're at. If you're out in town with your kids, I have my oldest daughter. She's married and moved on and stuff now. But we're horrible people, Dean. We like to talk about people that we see. But
Right.
You know what? I use that to teach her about being aware of her surroundings, being aware of the people. Now, we didn't make fun of these people to their faces. We aren't that rude, but. Hey, I'd say, hey, did you see so-and-so? Or, hey, did you see that? Hey, did you see that? And it keeps them aware. It keeps them looking around to what's going on around them. Because as they, even when they're in high school, but especially as they grow up, get married, move out, I want them to take that with them and understand the importance of situational awareness and what goes on around them, especially my girls. I got three girls, 2 boys. And, I'm worried about the boys, too, but I'm worried about the girls because, to be honest with you, I'm nothing against the female gender, the female species, but women are taken more often than not as soft targets.
I think, yeah, that's the reason is they're considered a soft target.
And I think more women need to learn about situational awareness and the possibility that, I mean, it's not for everyone, but the possibility that, you know, the firearm can be the great equalizer.
True.
Wasn't there who was that saying?
Sam Colt.
Sam Colt.
Right?
What did he
The
say?
inventor of the Colt. God created man, and Sam Colt made him equal.
That's right.
Right.
And, you know, and that's a great quote for everyone, but especially for women, a firearm is an option. If they are comfortable carrying a firearm could be an option.
Right.
I hear lots of women talk about carrying, tasers. They talk about carrying pepper spray and mace and stuff, and those things all work. Those are less than lethal, and that's fine. Just understand that those, and even a knife, is an up close and personal defensive item, defensive tool. And what do we have here in southern Idaho all the time outside? Wind. We have lots of wind.
Yeah, it never stops. Yeah.
And so if you pull your pepper spray out to defend yourself and you blow it, what could happen?
Well, make sure you're upwind.
Yeah, it could blow back in your face if that's something that you haven't thought about or discussed.
Right.
Taser, you're up close and personal to them.
What if it's winter?
Exactly.
Yeah, the other guy's going to be wearing thick clothes.
Yep. And
So you're going to have to go for a taser headshot.
There you go. Taser headshot. And I mean, and I don't even know, to be honest with you, I don't even know well, I know the differences, but I don't know the different verbiage. But you have the tasers, so you got the one where you actually got to touch the person with it, and zzz,
Gotcha. Okay.
and then you got the ones that the law enforcement has.
It fires off the wires.
The fires off the wires. And the thing with that is those are pretty cool, but you are connected to that person.
Right. Yeah.
You are connected to that person, and it's not like it's a nonstop tase. I think it's for like so many seconds type of thing.
Till the battery runs out. Yeah.
So you need to understand that, you know, and maybe think of the firearm as, you know, use them all as a tool package. There you go.
Right.
Okay, so you have different options for different
Whatever-
situations.
Whatever you're comfortable with carrying.
You got to start somewhere.
Right. And something is better than nothing.
And if you carry a taser, if you carry pepper spray, come talk to me. I will tell you what's wrong with it, and we'll get you into a firearm.
Right, well, we'll sign you up for a defensive.
Defensive
course.
That's
with,
right. I'll let
with
you.
Patriot Defense.
Patriot Defense. That's right. You can come sign up with me. Call me up. We'll set you up a private class. And you can come on over and you can shoot my firearms. You don't even have to have your own gun. I'll provide the ammo. And we'll see if you're comfortable doing something like that.
Yeah.
And then after that, I will send you to. I have numerous gun stores and people that I know that own gun stores. You can go and you can purchase a firearm from them.
I can vouch for Todd's private courses. He's used me as a guinea pig several times for courses that he's tried to develop and come up with, and it's been so much fun shooting with Todd just one-on-one. I've learned so much. It's made me a much better marksman. I just can't say enough about how great a teacher that Todd is.
And if you ever become my friend and you want to be a guinea pig for one of my classes, it's a lot of fun.
It is.
We have
a great time.
we do that like once or twice a summer, I think.
Yeah.
So one of the classes I'm actually getting kind of excited about, and I just got a hold of another buddy of mine that helps me do some of these. I probably told you last year he was helping me do a draw and how to draw your firearm and shoot class. He is a ex law enforcement instructor, firearms instructor, and I've mentioned it to him, and I think he's interested. We're talking about doing a defensive shotgun class.
Oh, that'd be fun.
So the first part of the morning we do the draw and shoot class. I actually came up with a fancy name for that. Yeah, I don't remember what it is now.
The Patriot Defense Draw and Shoot class?
No, that's not. It was fancier than that. But we would do that for the first part of the day. We'd break for lunch, come back, and do defensive shotgun. And I don't even think that we discussed it. It's like whatever shotgun you have.
Right.
And you bring your old one that you hunt waterfowl with, and is that the perfect defensive shotgun? Probably not, but that's probably going to be the one that you grab.
Right.
And if you know how to use it defensively and the right tactics, and then you can go out and buy a really cool defensive. I'm looking forward to it because I need to buy a defensive shotgun, and I wanted a tax write-off.
You need an excuse to get another firearm there.
So
Tom.
if I pay you, Dean, like $20 a year to do this, you could buy a defensive shotgun and write it off too.
Right? Yeah.
Couldn't you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You'd probably write it off anyway.
Well, I just go make me a defensive one.
Go for a removal tool.
Right. I've got a My pop was an amateur gunsmith, and I've inherited some stuff from him. And
The pile. I know the
I
piles
know,
of
pile
guns.
of goods. But oh wait, no. Anyway, so I've
Did you lose all those in that freak boating accident?
yeah, they're all at the bottom of the lake over there.
Bottom of the lake
Yeah,
in
not
an
there anymore.
undisclosed location.
True.
That's right.
But anyway, he left me a Mossberg, and I had the a Model 500.
Yeah.
It was one of the old ones that just had the instead of two actuators from the grip, not from the grip, from the pump going back to the action. It has only one actuator. So this is a little bit older one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I took that thing and I stripped it down and I painted it black, so it's tactical now. I stained the wood black and
I know
put
this
clear
gun.
coat on it. Right,
It's the street sweeper.
the street sweeper. Yeah, I cut the barrel down to 18.5 inches just to make sure
I'm going to measure it.
I'm within within legal rounds.
If anyone needs to get a hold of Dean's address, go ahead and you can text me at 620-794-6223. I'll let you know when he's not home. I know where he keeps his guns.
Oh, you made me snort.
You're snorting something too over there?
Oh gosh,
Dean?
yeah, I'm huffing Plastidip at home and coming over to Todd's and snorting.
Talking about, I don't know, shotguns.
True.
Different
But-
ATF situations
True,
we got going
yeah.
on. Dean looks at me like, shut
Oh,
up, Todd.
good gosh. Yeah, then I took the stock off this thing and I cut it down to a pistol grip, and then I put a laser sight on the top of it. So
I'm
Yeah.
I'm listening to you, but I'm laughing because I'm
You're
thinking
right.
of the Ruby Ridge seas. This is going to be
Oh,
the
gosh.
Curry Crossing,
the Curry Crossing FBI
confrontation. The Curry Crossing confrontation is what we're going to have going on.
incident.
Now.
That's right.
They're going to be waiting for you. when you get
Yeah,
home.
it'll be King Leonidas versus Persia all over. Come and get them.
There you go.
That's right.
Come and take them.
That's right.
Come and take them.
Yeah, I'll fight in the shade.
Well, we got some pretty good. I think. Well, we haven't done them yet, but I think we've got some pretty good shows coming up. I just was talking to you. We've got 2 microphones.
Yeah.
Right now, we've got these stupid little filters on them, and I got some desks in here.
Yeah, it looks good.
In our past shows, I will apologize. You probably heard the thumping and the bumping in the background. It was because we were both holding our mics.
Yeah.
But I think we're past that. But I've ordered one more mic, and I've ordered some of those. What are they called?
A boom.
The big,
Some
yeah,
booms?
3
Yeah.
mic booms.
Yeah.
We're gonna be able to. I'm looking forward to pulling this drawer out right here
Yeah.
and kicking my feet up on it and
Ah.
pulling that boom, and I'm leaning back. It's gonna be like Gun Talk Easy Street. in
Right,
here.
yeah, you're-
trademark infringement.
Oh
There.
wait. Oh yes. No.
Patriot Defense.
Patriot Defense
Podcast, Easy
and,
Street.
and drawing and
Firing.
and firing and defensive shotgun show.
Yeah, that's right.
True.
Trademark that. But anyhow, we're gonna get Glenita on here. She's pretty excited. She just told me to let her know when, and so we will get her on here for a show. And I've got a gentleman. He actually did some custom engraving on one of my Glocks. He runs a machine shop on so he engraved my G19. He's got a new engraver. He engraves all kinds of crazy stuff. He engraved the top with his laser. If I saw it right, he engraved like a freaking pumpkin pie for
What?
Thanksgiving.
You engraved his pie?
Yeah. You can engrave anything.
That's awesome.
And it looks like a big printer.
Yeah.
And you put it in there, it does this little laser thing. It's really cool. But he
Wow.
put my company, my business Patriot Defense logo in the slide of my Glock, and
That's impressive. It looks really good.
it does. And
Yeah.
and it was really small and detailed.
Really, yeah, serious.
And so I was supposed to have him on the show at the beginning of summer, but then the show fell apart for about 3 months.
Why'd that happen?
I got bored yelling at the wall.
Whatever.
Yeah. So I'll get Ken in here, and he'll post a bunch of pictures up, and I'm hoping he still has maybe the video of when he did mine.
Yeah.
Because you can actually take a video and look through the top. It's really cool.
Oh, that is cool.
Yeah. So we'll talk about that. Ask him, some neat things that he's actually engraved with that freaking laser. I know he's done a lot of other cool firearms and stuff like that. So
Yeah. And pies,
and pies, and maybe he'll bring a pie.
right?
Let's
Patriot
have a
Defense
friggin'
pie?
Patriot Defense pumpkin pie. Oh, we're doing that.
True.
I'm taking him a pie.
I'll bring the whipped cream.
You keep it off my pie. That's where the logo is. So anyhow, we'll have a good time doing that. And then I got another guy coming on. I knew this guy from years and years ago. And he wasn't really into, I don't think he was anyway. He was on search and rescue with me. He really wasn't into a whole bunch of firearms back then, but he is, and he's taking my class, and he's gung-ho and moving forward like crazy, so it'd be nice to talk to him and see where he's at. And I've also have a handful of people, women especially, that have taken my class, and they've all come in and taken it for a reason. It's because they've had a close call in the past, or they were attacked in the past, or they were scared of someone in the past, and they had good reason to have a firearm. There's even a gal that grew up hating firearms, and she came from California, didn't like them, decided she needed some things changed in her life, decided that she needed one, and talked to her and get her journey from that point to where she is now. I think that'd make for some really fun shows,
right?
I believe, as long as they got a good sense of humor with you and me. So beware if you're going to come on the podcast with Todd and Dean. Could get interesting.
Right.
I'll even clean up this mess in here.
It just makes it feel like a man cave.
We're going to have women in here, Dean.
Oh, crap.
Telling us their story.
Well, it's all good.
Yeah. But anyhow, that's what we can look forward to in the future, hopefully, if I can get my crap together.
And your boom's up.
My boom's up. They'll be here this week.
That'll be great.
They'll be here this week. So anything else you want to touch on, Dean? You look like you're full of information over there.
Well, I'm just bursting at the seams with... I got nothing.
Okay. Well, we need to make it a good year. Happy New Year's. I make it this out tonight. I got a little bit of time. Yeah. I was right on the last one. I got it out.
You were the same day. You sent me that text.
It was like an hour.
Yeah.
So if I remember how to edit this thing and get it, I don't. Nah, let's not lie. Let's be honest. I don't edit.
You're not going to edit. You're not going to edit, Todd.
I just put the intro music to it and hit send. That's pretty much all I do. So the guy that helped me get into these podcasting, Brad Weiser, he kind of helped me through this. I think it kills him that I don't do any editing. I don't even listen to this. I just hit send. Send it. That's all we do. Send it.
So it's a self-filtered show.
Pretty much. If you don't like it, you don't like it.
And thank you so much to all two of our listeners.
Glenita.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And you're welcome, because I listen too.
And the one guy in Japan that downloaded it.
Actually, this is kind of cool. So Libsyn is the podcast software. I don't know what you call them. I use, and they'll track. They won't give you names. They'll track kind of how many downloads you've got. We've got some people listening in the United Kingdom and Sweden and Japan.
Right.
I've got 14 downloads out of Japan. Now, granted, it's taken over a year to get, but I've got 14 downloads in Japan.
So hello to all our friends in Sweden, the UK, and Japan. We appreciate your patronage of Patriot Defense.
That's right. And if I knew some do you know any Japanese?
Konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa. There we go.
And the horse you rode in on.
Oh man, what did I just say?
I don't know.
Okay.
No, you said hello.
Great. Now it's going to go down.
You said hello.
Now it's going to go down to like 2 listeners in Japan, and they're the people that just let it automatically download and don't listen to it. So, anyhow, we got a whole lot coming up for you this next year, I hope. And Dean's going to be a regular co-host now, right?
True.
You're not going to ship off to California.
Yeah, I'm steady. This new job is working out really well.
Good, because I'm going to. If your wife will give you up for a little while every now and then, I'm thinking every couple weeks.
Yeah, if we can
at least,
something out.
If not more, it's kind of fun.
This is a great time, Todd. It's always good to catch up and visit.
So until then, I'm going to say that we are done, and I'll try to get it out. You'll probably be listening to it by tomorrow morning.
Fair enough.
And have a happy New Year's, and we'll see you in a week or so.
Keep the shiny side up.
That's right.